Now I'm happy to introduce our next speaker, who will be talking about trusted knowledge infrastructure for AI business, and that is Arvind Gopal. He's the VP of Product Management and Strategy at eGain, where he leads innovation across AI, knowledge management, and customer experience. He's got 20 plus years of experience and specializes in building scalable solutions that drive customer engagement and operational efficiency. He has multiple patents in customer engagement technology and frequently shares his knowledge on generative AI and customer service, and let's assume success. And so please welcome him to the stage. Arvind.
Thank you very much. I'm actually super excited to be here because I get to talk to you guys about my favorite topic, which is knowledge management. And I also get to show you some of the cool stuff that we've been working on. So I assume everybody in this room is in the business of creating, maintaining, and managing knowledge. How many of you would say that you are able to keep up with your enterprise's demands of knowledge? And by demands, I mean their ability to create new knowledge, update knowledge, as well as process all of the feedback associated with knowledge. Anybody? Probably one person in the room. That's kind of what we normally see. I think traditionally, knowledge management is just a lot of work. It's just hard. And it's hard because a lot of the processes around knowledge management is still extremely manual. Yes, there are tools. Yes, you have some parts of it which are automated. But the core areas are still manual. Creation of knowledge is still mostly manual, with assistance, but still manual. Organizing, manual. Updating feedback, workflows, approval processes, still fairly manual. That is where we believe we have a solution for. Now, we've been working with large enterprises with our eGain knowledge method for quite a few years now. And we've seen really good results. We create knowledge systems that show measurable ROI. But it was still a lot of work creating those systems. What we've managed to do over the last year or so is to automate this end-to-end. So much so with AI that we had to rename it to the eGain AI knowledge method because of the role AI plays in that method. And the results we are seeing are also pretty compelling. 10x improvement in speed of KM tasks, 3x improvement in time to value, as well as much improved consistency, accuracy, relevance of knowledge. Right? So before we get into the method itself, quick word about who we are. We are the #1 AI knowledge management platform. Don't take our word for it. We are rated highly by analysts. We're also a leader in Gartner's EMQ for AI knowledge applications. We work with some of the biggest brands across finance, healthcare, retail, telecom, and as well as the government. Coming back to the method. You guys haven't forgotten that part, right? So the method is rooted in the principle of the knowledge you need versus the knowledge you have, which basically means that about 10% of the knowledge you have in your enterprise provides 90% of the ROI. So the idea here is to identify the 10% and to really make it shine, to make it easily available, easily consumable, and easily findable to everybody looking for that knowledge. So the way we do that is by starting with your knowledge needs, understanding what your users are asking. What are their questions? We then marry that with the content that already exists in your organization. To create trusted answers, we personalize it and publish it across all the channels. And we have a continuous loop that measures the entire thing and optimizes it over time. So we talked about automating this end-to-end. So let's take a deeper look about how we go about automating it. right? Starting with the questions. To understand your customer questions, we have to go to the place where they ask them, which would be your conversation stores. Extract the questions from your conversation stores. Group them together based on what is the root question and what are the different ways customers actually express it, or what are the utterances. And then we run it through our volume value complexity analysis, plug a bunch of industry data alongside it to determine what are the most important questions in your organization. And the results are actually really compelling. This is an example of the process that we ran with one of our recent customers. They are a financial services company. These were the top 2 questions that we found. These contributed to 60% of their call volume. Now, you'd look at these questions and say, it's easy to automate them. These are the simplest things to automate. Yes. And if you automate these questions, you remove 60% of your call volume from your contact center. That's the kind of benefit you get if you start looking at your questions. So we said we'd automate this end to end. How do we automate it? Right? So a quick look at what we can do to automate it. So in this short video, we're going to start by dropping a zip file with all the conversation transcripts into the system. Now, we would normally be connected to the conversation store, but in this case, we're just using a zip file. System automatically starts looking at all the conversations and starts extracting the questions, and it's soon ready for review. Once it's ready for review, you can take a look at, it's already grouped all the questions together, it's found the root questions, and you can take a look at all the different utterances that for the particular question. Now, once you import it into the system, you can go further and look at not just the utterances, you can also look at the conversations that question came from. So now you have a full 360-degree view of what those questions are, how people ask them, which channels they came from, and what those conversations were and the outcomes were. So that was the first part. Second part is now marrying that with the content that already exists in your organization to create those trusted answers. Now, before all of this automation, it was a manual restructuring process. And I know there'll be many of you in this room who have gone through months of cleanup exercises with not a lot to show for it at the end of it, right? What we've been able to do is automate it. And again, let's take a look at what that means. So we left it at where we had pulled the questions into the system. As soon as we pull the questions into the system starts generating answers for those questions based on the knowledge that you already have. You can go into the system and take a look at the different sources from which it pulled the knowledge, the answer that it generated, and you can mark those answers as satisfactory or not. That then goes in for extra processing. Now, this is really great if the knowledge already exists in your system. What if the knowledge doesn't exist in your system and you have a gap in knowledge? Remember that your agents are already answering these questions, which means somebody already knows how to answer the question. They've already found out what the right answer is. Your conversations already hold those answers. So we get to take a look at the conversations themselves. It will identify the conversations for which it cannot find an answer. You can go in there, take a look at the conversations, mark those conversations as good for the ones that you feel the agents have done a good job and have answered the question. Once you've done that, now the click of the button, the system will generate an article for you that you can then pull back into your knowledge base and publish. I think earlier Martin talked about the knowledge that goes out of your organization because people leave. This is that tacit knowledge. You can harness that, bring that back into the knowledge system, and start using it. So that was the second part. So we've found the questions, we've created trusted answers, now we're getting into personalizing and publishing. Again, something that used to take many months of deliberation over the taxonomy, the metadata, structure, experience, etc. Right. Again, let's take a look at how we can automate it. We're taking one example here where we are looking at a specific article. As soon as you pull up the article, you'll see that AI has already gone in and identified issues relating to style, identified issues relating to metadata, all based on rules you've already configured into the system. Click of a button, AI will go in and fix all of those things, and you're now ready to actually publish this. Again, really quick, completely automated. So we've discovered the questions, we've created trusted answers, we've personalized and published them, and finally, we need to now start measuring and optimizing it. And we've always had good measures for how knowledge is used, how it's adopted, and whether it's effective in reducing your FCR or whether it's effective in improving your average handle time. What we didn't have measures on is quality of content. How do you measure quality of content? How good was that content? So this is our knowledge intelligence dashboard. And you can see the dashboard automatically starts getting you information on things like, were the acronyms properly specified? Did I have enough metadata? Am I following all the style guides, all the rules that I need? How good is my readability? Is there duplicate content in my system? Is there conflicting content in my system? So all of those pieces are already being generated and ready for you. That's not it, though. This dashboard allows you to plug in your business-specific metrics back into the dashboard. And it's as easy as adding a prompt into it. And it also allows you to resolve things that it finds. So let's take a look at what happens when you find duplicate articles. Now, in this case, it's going to show you a pair of duplicate articles. So pull the articles side by side. You can take a look at various attributes of the articles, including the questions that they answer. That's a real important measure of determining whether they are actually duplicate. Click another button. It'll merge the articles together for you, create a new version of the article. It will go ahead and update all the links to the article to point to the new one, which means it's all done and you're ready to go. So we've basically managed to automate the entire life cycle of knowledge management. And we truly believe we can move knowledge from a lot of work to a lot of fun. That's a picture from a recent customer launch out in the UK, and we do believe in making it fun. I want to leave you guys with two thoughts. One is, I'd like to continue this conversation. Please come and find us at the booth. And I have my colleagues going on later on today who will talk more about our AI capabilities, as well as we have one of our customers tomorrow at the Keynote. Really incredible sessions that can give you more insights into the work that we're doing. With that, thank you guys very much.